How do you read the Bible? Just open the book, read it left to right, and it means what it says, right? Not so simple. Don't worry, I've got 10 tips for how you should read the Bible. Oh, and numbers 4, 7, and 10 just might be the most important. Number 1, read it literarily, not literally. Do you understand the difference? Literarily, not literally. The Bible's full of different types of literature, and none of it is history. There's myth, there's legend, there's poetry, there's epistle, that means a letter, there's gospel, that's a particular type of good news writing, there's apocalyptic literature, that's the science fiction end of the world using language of the future to talk about the present. So read it literarily, not literally. Number 2, read it slow and close. Too often we try to turn the Bible into a speed run, getting from beginning to end as quick as we can just to check it off the list or say we've done it. But slow down. Do a close reading. Notice what you notice. Don't just move from verse to verse, word to word, but pay attention to the action happening between each phrase. Think of it more like a play happening on stage rather than just like words on a page. Number 3, read it in community. The Bible was never meant to be read by individuals having their own personal quiet time and their own personal relationship with Jesus. What the hell are you talking about? There's no such thing as a singular Christian. It always happens in community. The Bible, every bit of it, was written to and for and from community. It's not just a book for you, it's a book for us. And when we read it in community, we have some checks and balances, some accountability, different interpretations and voices present to make sure all of these facets are seen and experienced. Number 4, read it then before you read it now. The Bible is really, really old, at least 2,000 years. A lot of it's a lot older than that. So when you're reading it, you're reading someone else's mail. You're reading someone else's ancient history. And we can't assume that our modern point of view is anything the same. There's going to be lots of references and jokes and all sorts of contextual details that we just don't even know how to notice. It means you got to learn a little bit about then before you can assume you know what it means now. You have to understand its context before you can bring it into the present. My favorite way to think about this is to do the opposite. Imagine something from now pushed into the future. Imagine 1,000 years from now, someone sees the word butt dial and booty call. And they think, butt dial, booty call, they're the same thing, right? Nope, they're not. Because we know the context. We know that even though butt and booty are the same, and call and dial are the same, butt dial and booty call are very, very different. So what are the butt dials and booty calls in the Bible? What are the things that we are misinterpreting and misunderstanding because we need to learn how to read it then before we know how to read it now? Number 5, read it in another language. Now, I mean this one in 2 different ways. First, the Bible wasn't written in English or whatever language you're probably listening to this video in. Did you know you can listen to YouTube videos in different languages? Interesting. The Bible was written in Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic. So maybe you want to open up one of those versions and figure out what the original words might have been saying. That's an interesting way to start. The other way to start is just reading a language other than your own. You speak English?
Hello.
Read it in Spanish,
Hola.
in Mandarin,
Ni hao.
in Korean,
Annyeong.
in French,
Bonjour.
pick a language. The language the Bible's translated in for you is not the only translation. It's all a translation. Even the Gospels are a translation. The original Greek, because Jesus would have spoke Aramaic and then they wrote it down in Greek and now we're reading it in English. So it's a translation of a translation. So basically, read it in a different language and see what insights and perspectives that brings. Number 6, listen for the voices that have been silenced. The Bible was written in a patriarchal society. That sounds familiar. So it's no surprise that most of the main characters are men. Just like in our world today, this means it's important to listen to the voices that are silenced, overlooked, pushed to the margins. Often in the Bible, this will mean women. You catch a name, a bit of a story, but not much more. Lean into that one. Hagar, Tamar, Deborah, Yael, the daughters of Zelophehad. Look them up. They are gonna blow your mind. Any of the Marys. Unia, who was named an apostle. She's a woman, by the way. A woman apostle in the Bible. Yep. Not to mention the characters that literally get no name at all, and they are just silenced and invisible. How can we notice and listen to these characters when we read the Bible? Number 7, look through a lens that's different than yours. Whatever your starting point is, find one that's not yours. So white, straight, cis, American male right here, how can I find queer voices, feminist voices, black voices, womanist voices, mujerista voices, all these voices from people who aren't my voice, my perspective? You need to have angles into this ancient story that are bigger than yours. This is kind of that whole read it in community thing, but at a different scale. So what's your voice? And then listen to some voices that aren't your voice. Number 8, identify your bias. There's no such thing as an unbiased reading of the Bible. We're all bringing some sort of lens to the text. So basically, what's yours? Are you reading it through a literal fundamentalist conservative lens? Are you reading it through it's all relative and it's just an interesting folktale and story lens? I'm not saying pick your lens, but be aware of the bias you bring. I like to be intentional. So for me, the lens I try to bring is a bias of love and justice. How can I read the entire Bible through that lens? We all got a bias. What's yours? Oh, and if you don't think you have a bias, that just means you have an implicit bias that you aren't even conscious of. Number 9, acknowledge your interpretation. This is a little bit different than number 8. This is a little bit different from number 8, the whole bias one. The bias is the lens that you're looking through. Interpretation is what you see through that lens. And here's the thing, all of it is interpretation. The Bible doesn't say anything. We read something from it. It's just a document, text, scribbles on a page, metaphors that we have decided have meaning. And every context you read it from will impact that interpretation. My favorite thing to say is God is love. The rest of it is commentary. But even that's interpretation, because what is love? Okay, don't worry. I made a video all about that a few weeks ago. Check it out. What is love? And number 10, listen to all the voices. By this, I mean the Bible is not a single voice, but it is multivocal. We can't try to force everything into one single voice or narrative or point of view, but the Bible is a collection of so many different voices, disparate voices, disagreeing voices. And if we try to make them all agree and say the same thing, we aren't even taking the Bible seriously. Maybe that's what it comes down to. Take the Bible seriously. If you say that you care about and value and love the Bible, then you should take this book seriously. It's not one book, by the way. It's a library. It's a collection of books. It's written over centuries, millennia. You are traveling through time when you read sometimes just a single book. All right, I've said enough. There you go. 10 tips on how to read the Bible. Be sure to check out last week's video all about a theology of 6-7. And next week, we're looking at an unsanitized version of Martin Luther King Jr. See you then.